All right, good evening, everybody, and thank you once again. Welcome to the Community Advocate and to Community Matters, the podcast here on the Community Advocate Network. I am Deborah Mitchell, your host, as always, and I am still reviewing documents for the Deputy Sean Grayson. Uh, the defendant in the case for the slaying of 36-year-old Sonya Massey of Springfield, Illinois. Now, if I misspeak on between Springfield, Illinois and Springfield, Ohio, and things like that, just kind of overlook it. It's just, sometimes, there are speech errors or whatever. So someone's joining us. Coach, hi. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you guys for joining us. There's a few people in here. If you guys don't mind, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up for us, and that would be really helpful, and I would really appreciate it. So I want to kind of recap where we left off on yesterday evening. We were going over a lot of the media responses and the sheriff's department responding to various questions presented to them by the media. We don't know if these questions came by way of phone calls or however, but we did take a look at a lot of the media responses. One of which is where we left off, is on your screen right now. And then we also took a look at the court docket, and we did that because we wanted to verify the actual trial date, which is set for August the 26th at 9 a.m. out in the Sangamon County Circuit Court out there in Illinois. So we did verify that. We did verify take a look at some of the motions that were filed. One, of course, was from the defense trying to get pretrial release for Mr. Grayson, for Sean Grayson, which was denied. Because of the nature of the charges, the judge decided or determined that he would be a threat to the public and did not release him. He is being held over or remanded to custody until the trial. Then one other motion we took a look at was a motion for relief filed by the defendant, and what it looks like to be a change or switch in attorneys. We don't know if he fired the other attorney, the first attorney that handled his arraignment. I believe his name was Brian Sexton. He now has a guy named Mark Foltz or some pronunciation like that. But there was paperwork, motion filed with the court to change attorneys. So for whatever reason, he has switched attorneys. It does say Mr. Sexton was terminated from the case as co-counsel. So it does look like he actually fired his first attorney, probably based on the fact that he did not get out of jail. That happens all the time. So I can see that as a reason to get rid of an attorney if you think that he did not properly argue your case. So that was one thing. Then there was a couple of, and then also in terms of what we looked at in the court records, we also took a look at the denial for media coverage of the trial. The trial will not, as we know today, be televised. The judge has denied what we looked at on the docket so far, 2 requests from the media to cover the trial, to broadcast it or whatever, and the judge said no. So we did verify those documents. You can go back to the video on yesterday. I did add chapters so that you guys can go back in and take a look at whatever sections of the video. And the video is like 3.5 hours long. So you can look at whatever sections of the video you want to see. What else? We looked at media responses. And then, of course, the big thing was the audio files. These are the 911 calls, the police radio communications, um, calls from back and forth to and from dispatch, SCCDS, I believe it's referred to, the Central Dispatch out there in Sangamon County. There were calls from Sonya Massey and calls back and forth between the deputies on the scene, of course, which was Sean Grayson and the other unnamed officer. I don't believe that they have intention to even release his name. And then also to the hospital, the coroner's office, and so on and so forth. And so what we know thus far is that they have reported the shooting and to dispatch or called it in. The other officers are coming, as well as the sheriff, Jack Campbell, I'm sorry, are coming to the scene in terms of the calls or the audio files that we've listened to. And they are trying to determine if the gunshot wound is self-inflicted or if she was actually shot by the deputies. We are still not very clear on how that was initially reported, because the family does claim that they were initially told that her gunshot wound was self-inflicted. So we're kind of trying to look through those things. So what I want to do tonight is start at the point of the media response that we stopped at, which was about this confusion over the self-inflicted wound, and then listen to some more of the audio files. I also want to look at, start to, or go through Sean Grayson's personnel file with Sangamon County. And then we'll do another day where we go through some of his other disciplinary records and things like that. So this is kind of like a discovery process of sorts. I wanted to verify information that is being reported across social media, mass media, all of that, and look at the actual documents, the actual records, to confirm or deny whatever information is out there. So that's kind of where we're going with this, and what is happening on the Community Advocate Network channel, and what we're broadcasting or reporting back to you. So here on the screen, like I said, this is a media response. What has happened is the Sangamon County, my light went out here, has added a page to their website to specifically to address or post information regarding the Sonya Massey case. Now, we did read on yesterday that the investigation into the shooting and all of that was done independently. The Illinois State Police was called in immediately. We saw that. We listened to the calls. At the night of the incident, they were called in. Sonya Massey contacted the police. Her initial call came in at 12:50 a.m. So all of this stuff is going on in the middle of the night, basically late at night. And so, but the investigation was handled by the Illinois State Police instead of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department, who were the employers of Sean Grayson. And according to the documentation, their investigation is complete. Sean Grayson has been charged and, of course, arraigned, and is in custody awaiting trial that is scheduled for August the 26th. So that's where we are. So I want to read this for you and make sure that you guys can follow along. So I'll keep try to just remind me if I forget to put something on the screen. If I start reading something and it's not on the screen, let me know in the comments, because sometimes I forget to add it to the stream. But this is a media response in regards to the confusion over the reporting of the self-inflicted wound. So the media is asking, was the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office ever confused about whether the incident was self-inflicted or not? And what their response was, the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office was not confused about whether the incident was self-inflicted. We are aware that the phrase self-inflicted was used by radio dispatchers and others at certain times. Those on the scene knew the cause of death, and former Deputy Grayson clearly stated at least twice in the body cam video that he was the shooter. Now, let me say this about that, because I did read this particular media question yet on yesterday. And in going back, I did hear where one of the central dispatchers was reporting the shooting to whomever. I couldn't make out who he was talking to. But he did say that he initially stated that the wound was self-inflicted because he thought he heard Deputy Grayson tell him that on the initial call. He said, but he was saying it, I think he said that the volume was low, or he was speaking it low or something to that effect. So I'm going to play that particular audio file again tonight, because I did hear that when I went back and listened to the live stream from yesterday. So I think that this is where this started from. What are you saying, Coach? Coach is saying some of that communication was with EMS, I believe. I'm not sure who he was talking to, but he was actually from dispatch reporting the shooting. And so he did say that he initially reported it as a self-inflicted wound because he thought that's what he heard. So I want to play that again, but let me read the full response really quick. Okay, so it says those on the scene knew the cause of death. Now, I also disagree with that, because we did listen to audio. If you guys remember, those that was with us yesterday, remember that there was a whole lot of confusion going back and forth from people on the scene talking to dispatch and various others, trying to determine or decide or figure out if the wound was self-inflicted or not. So I'm not sure if that's an entirely true statement that they're giving here to the media. So again, it says those on the scene knew the cause of death, and former Deputy Grayson clearly stated at least twice in the body cam video that he was the shooter. And then they ask him, the next question is, how do you address claims made by the family that calling the incident self-inflicted was an attempt to cover up the shooting of Sonya Massey? Their response: the sheriff's office has not referred to the incident as being self-inflicted, so they are denying telling the family that. The family did, however, report to the media in an interview that that is what they were initially told. He says, or they say, while we are aware that the phrase self-inflicted was used, we understood it to be a question by dispatchers initially. No cover-ups has occurred. The sheriff's office contacted the Illinois State Police and requested that they initiate and take over the investigation of the incident even before Ms. Massey was reported to have died. According to our records, this was requested at 1:42 a.m. on July 6th, which is the day of the incident. The sheriff's office shared all information requested by ISP, that's the Illinois State Police. The immediate action of the sheriff's office in turning this case over to the Illinois State Police reflects our commitment to transparency and accountability. The Sangamon County Sheriff's Office is calling on the Illinois State Police to investigate the claims surrounding the scanner audio that incorrectly suggested a self-inflicted cause of death. We owe it to the community and to Ms. Massey's family to ensure complete transparency. So, again, I do think that this is kind of where that started. I think someone in dispatch probably thought that was what they heard. Um, Let me see. Hold on. Thin blue line at its best. Oh, that someone is Bernard Kemp. Thank you for joining us this evening, Bernard. Thin blue line at its best. Yeah, I mean, we know the officers and their code of whatever, blue codes and all of that stuff. But I do think that's kind of where that started. I don't think that they're being totally straightforward about it, but that's what we have so far. So so they're asking about the Logan County and the previous counties that he worked in. I don't want to really deal with that tonight. So I want to go back and listen to that audio from the 911 caller, or I'm sorry, to where that particular dispatcher, I'm sorry, initiated the, where he talks about him initially reporting the self-inflicted wound, and let you guys kind of hear that again. I think that's important that we kind of track this down, because I'm sure it's going to be a part of the case if there's civil litigation and all of that stuff. Then we kind of know how this all happened. Who's saying something? Coach says, Bernard, please. He said, all are not corrupt, so don't put them all in the same basket. Um, let's see. The father got a different account of the story as well. Well, again, like I said, I think that the family definitely said that that is what they were told. That, I mean, I watched that interview, so they definitely said explicitly that that is what they were told, that initially that the gunshot was self-inflicted. So let's take a listen at this audio really quick, and we got 3 minutes and 5 seconds on this one. Let's take a listen.
Since you're on the phone, Scott needs you because they had a citizen's complaint, but we also just had what may be an officer-involved shooting.
Okay.
We don't have any info, and nobody will tell us, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's glorious.
Yeah, but they. Oh, it looks like Matt. The guy was demanding to speak to a supervisor, and so they got him out to Matt.
Well, that's fucking awful. I mean, not you guys, but yeah, my phone didn't go off at all.
Well, damn it.
So my absolute deepest apologies. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but anyway.
Well, Scott says he's gonna punch you in the nose.
That's well deserved. I will sit here and take it. I feel I'm horrified. I'm sorry.
That's fine. But we had lady call in, said your noise is up. God damn it. Come on, Eddie. Okay, could any other people talk all at once? Do we have anybody working all studios? Anyway, we had two guys go out to Hoover, 2800 block of Hoover, for a female, said that there was somebody scratching on the outside of her house. She hung up on us mid-questioning. They got out there, got no response. I called her back, no answer on the phone. And then I called her back again because they were running a 28, like trying to make contact with her. She called in from a second phone, but didn't say anything. So I called her back on the original one again. She answered, and then she said the deputies were standing right there. They asked me to hang up, so I hung up. And then a couple minutes went by. Somebody was calling out a traffic stop in the middle of a traffic stop. You heard a gunshot, and they were screaming 1078.
Oh shit.
Everybody obviously hauled ass over there. We didn't know if it was self-inflicted. He asked for 1096 history, and then I just confirmed self-inflicted, and I thought he said it was, but I can't play it back on the recorder because his response was too short for our recorder to pick up. So
Yeah, it didn't pick it up.
yeah, so there's just a click, but it sounded like he said there was, but now they have ISP investigations now, so we're thinking it was also involved.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, so just want to give you a heads up.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Again, I'm sorry about all of that shit. So.
Well, we'll bring it up on our counseling sessions.
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well,
all right.
You're done in 30 minutes, so enjoy it.
God damn it. All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so that's very interesting. If you guys could hear that, he's talking about her initial call. She didn't say anything. He had to call her back. She wouldn't answer the phone, and then he called back again. And well, no, she called back when she did call back to dispatch, meaning she's calling 911. The deputies were there. She told him that the deputies were there, but that she was calling from a second phone number. And then he starts talking about the actual shooting, and he said, I reported that it was self-inflicted because I thought that's what I heard him say, but I can't play it back because the conversation wasn't long enough for their system to record it. I hope you guys caught all of that. Now, the other issue with that particular audio file is that it is redacted. It's the original file was 4 minutes and 54 seconds long. That was 3 minutes and 5 seconds of that call. So that's an important one that I'll continue to probably reference as we move along. And so let's go on to some of the other calls. We talked about this one here where, hold on a second, let me put it up on the screen, because there was some questions about his release from the military. And so we went over this where the media started asking about their awareness of any serious misconduct in the military and all of that. We clicked on the link, and the document where you see the blue at, we also had a letter from Grayson's commanding officer attached with our response. This document that he's referring to here talks about him being a good asset to the Army and helping out his fellow cohorts and things like that and whatever. So it was a glowing letter that he received in terms of his discharge from the military. Now, I do believe there's some other documentation, but we haven't come across it yet. Coach says that's why this trial needs to be public. Absolutely. We need to get some clarity. This all falls into the accountability and transparency aspect. Like I said, the judge at this point has denied the media coverage of the trial. But I think it's unfortunate because you need to satisfy public inquiry for things like this in a case like this. The Buck Breaker, thank you for joining us. I saw you in the comments earlier. I think we were communicating. And the Buck Breaker says the evidence is not looking good. It's not. And it's a lot of evidence as well. So let's move on because I don't want to go back over um, things that we dealt with last night. I want to get to some more of the audio files and then talk about his personnel record tonight. So let's go on with some more of the calls. Hold on. Now this is a call service detail report. Let me put that on the screen so we can see what that is. I haven't reviewed this document yet. Let's see if we can see what this actually is. Okay, it says call service detail report or call for service detail report. I'm assuming that this is probably from dispatch and it's explaining when they received the call. It is SCCDS is Sangamon County Central Dispatch. I remember someone in the comments explained it to me yesterday. So this was a call from July 4th. Sonya Massey was killed on July 6th. So this was probably from Sonya Massey. The call type is disturbance in progress is the status. Priority 2, which is high. We don't know their internal codes, but that's what it says here. And I guess the name of the dispatcher and the date and time that the report was created. So here's what they're saying. Apparently, I'm guessing, but I'm assuming that this is a call from Sonya Massey. Let me make sure this is on the screen. Okay, y'all can see this, right? All right, so it says at 9:41 p.m., the caller was hesitant and would not speak. Advised she no longer needed the police. So maybe she had called once before. 9:29:20, 9:29:05. They have some internal codes there. 9:28, it says, well, I guess it's going in reverse. So 9:27, it says open line on 911, then disconnected. I think we heard that call because someone called and did not say anything and they just hung up. Can you all see that at the end? The report is going from the latest to the earliest, so it's going in reverse. So I'm at the bottom where it says 9:27 p.m. is where the start of the log is actually. All right, then 9:28 it says on callback, female gave address. 9:28:40 said lots of people were trying to hurt her. So this is probably her having a mental health break. 9:28 p.m. again, 9:28 and 51 seconds. It says when call taker tried to get further, she disconnected. So she hung up on them. And then they have these internal codes. I'll have to see if they, and then if they listed the actual, give an explanation of these codes. Then it says at 9:41, they apparently spoke with her and said the caller was hesitant and would not speak, advised she no longer needed the police. So this is some of the call logs, I guess, from calls they received from Sonya Massey. All right, so is this the same date? Because this log here is a little more extensive. This also says, okay, so maybe, is this the information that went to the actual, this may be the information that went to the actual officers. Maybe they went on and dispatched someone out to her home. So it says, okay, 9:27 p.m., New call created. 927 incident created, added incident number. They gave it a number. So more than likely they dispatched someone. And then 927, the call location was entered. And I'm not seeing anything that probably we would understand. Alerts were successfully gathered for location. Police call type added, disturbance, status in progress, priority 2, added police dispatch position, open line on 911, the disconnected. Yeah, this is an extended report. On call, female gave address, said lots of people were trying to hurt her. When caller tried to get further, she disconnected. So then the call was marked. If you look here, it says at 9:29:03, call ready for dispatch. Call marked ready for dispatch. So they sent officers out anyway, even though she said she didn't need the police. Dispatched, available on. Okay, so by 9:30, it looks like they were on the scene, probably at her house. And 9:41, caller hesitant and would not speak. She no longer needed police. Okay, so this is something that happened the day, well, 2 days before, because this is marked July the 4th. Someone was saying yesterday in the comments, you guys are really, okay. He's saying Sonya Massey had mental issues. And some say, let me see what he's saying here. Okay, first you're saying that the evidence is not looking good. Okay, so you said, Sonya Massey had mental issues, but some say his response was a bit excessive. It was. It absolutely was. And so the coach is responding, I feel if it wasn't Miss Massey, it would have been someone else. He gave off a vibe of aggressive agitation just for responding to a call. Right. And that's the whole thing. You can't have officers out here aggressively aggressive towards citizens. It's not a good thing. Yeah, the date at the top says 7-4, right, on that report. So Dr. Mengel, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Says, hopefully Sean Grayson gets help and the proper legal defense. Maybe he can get probation and some community service. He's not Derek Chauvin. What's the difference between him and Derek Chauvin? Okay, so Coach is helping us understand. This is just a full CAD record of the day for the day of the 4th. Okay, got it. So Dr. Mengel says that he thinks that he should get probation and community service for murdering someone. Very interesting. Sometimes I think in terms of the comment section that people, well, it is, I know that it happens. People a lot of times will say things just to kind of throw a monkey wrench in things. I mean, in what world does someone get community service for committing, for killing someone? It makes no sense. So when I see stuff like that, I generally will ignore it unless you have some, I don't see how, but some valid way to explain your point. I don't mind differences of opinions, but it has to be a serious conversation. We're talking about someone's life, someone's mother, whether she had a mental health condition or not, someone's child, and so on and so forth. And so to throw things out there and, kind of being silly, it's inappropriate. It's just not the proper thing to do. Bernard says, didn't Miss Massey have mental issues? Police officer asked her for ID, and she was hesitant to give the ID, like most Black people that I know. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the yes, she did have mental health issues. However, she was the caller. She would have been, had there truly been a victim outside of her home, she would have been the victim. There was no reason for him to ask her for her ID. And to make a statement like that is ridiculous. I'm Black. And if I'm ever approached by the police, I give them my identification. I'll identify myself. So yeah, that kind of stuff is just, like I said, it's inappropriate. If you don't have anything better to offer than that, then this is not the stream for you, Mr. Kemp. All right. Dr. Mangel, he had no reasonable right to ever be in our home. In the first place, he never even should have went in the house, period. There was nothing outside. That's what they were there to check out. They had no reason to go in the house. Let's have a healthy discussion, whether we agree or disagree, right? That's exactly right. Okay. So I want to keep going. Let's see if we can listen to some more of the calls. This one is also redacted. And so let's see what this is. And they did the file dump I explained to everybody yesterday. So they did a file dump, and so the calls are not actually in order. So when we click on them, um, or when I click on them, I don't know, exactly what it is. It basically just gives a date and time and all of that. So this one is 1 minute and 33 seconds. Let's see what it says.
Lincoln 897, Lincoln 851.
897, go for both.
Open line on 911, then disconnected. On callback, FEMA gave the address that a lot of people were trying to hurt her. When they tried to get further, she disconnected.
Okay, wow. 859, cancel 851, I'll be in out.
851, disregard.
858, you can cancel one of them. I'll be en route for Bryn Mawr.
858, 104. 859, you can disregard.
I'll stay with him if it's in active 1016.
Oh, Lisa Marie, thank you for joining us.
Number 2, change the direction to 46, please.
104. Attention all units, 14th and Reservoir. They are actually shooting off fireworks.
897, let's get this right.
104.
Route to the 1046, all of us.
104. Attention all units, subjects are seeing the rocket's red glare behind Park Towers, 405 Williams. 1036, 2131. Attention all units, 2320 Greystones, advising there are fireworks in the air. Attention all units in B100, there are fireworks going off in the mobile home parks. 1036, 2132. Negative 807. One of our 1017s would like, or one of our callers would like a 1017 by phone. Reference fireworks in the mobile home park.
10-4.
861, stack this back. Let me see here, please.
10-4.
897, cancel someone else. She does not need police assistance.
10-4, again, 858-861. Both units can disregard.
10 thank you, 10 thank you.
861, 10-8.
Okay, I had a very hard time hearing that one. Coach, let me know if you could make out. I really couldn't hear that one. I'm not sure exactly what they were saying on there. And that's going to happen with some of the calls. The volumes are really, really low. That one was also redacted, but I'm not sure. It just says SPD radio. Oh, it's a radio communication between the officers. So they're probably, and this is another one. So, well, this is some type of log. Let's see. And okay, so this is a log from them responding to her call from July the 4th. I'm not going to put that one up. So let's go to the next call. Make sure I get it in the stream. All right, let's take a listen and see what this one says. How is it identified? It's also identified as a radio call. So I'm assuming these are the officers communicating over their radios.
85902.
Go ahead.
We have any call history with the phone number?
859 negative, nothing in locals or cleared call.
Okay, that one was really short. I'm trying to catch your comments. No, I didn't look for it yet. I'll take care of it. I haven't forgotten. And welcome, Rebecca. I haven't forgotten though. All right, so let me see. That was another radio call, and then they have another log. So this one is marked, but it's only 34 seconds. It may be a call from Sonya Massey contacting 911. Let's see what it is. Oops. Hold on a second. Okay, let me get it in the stream. Okay, there we go. All right.
911, what's the address for your emergency? Hello, 911. Hello, 911.
Cool. I'm cool.
Hello, 911. Hello.
Yeah, that sounds like one of those calls from the victim. She was diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic, according to the family. So they did indicate that she called 911 quite often. So it looks like this next call is the dispatch calling her back. And we've seen a few of these where she has called. That's why I believe that Officer Grayson was familiar with Sonya Massey before he killed her, because she called 911 a lot from what they say. And I think the entire department was probably familiar with her. Yeah. But at any rate, let's see what the call says, because this one is when they called her back.
Well, I guess we don't get that.
Hello, 911.
Hello?
This is 911. We received a call from this
Hello?
number. Do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
What's going on there?
Somebody's trying to hurt me.
Who's trying to hurt you?
A lot of them.
Who?
Well, never mind. Must not be the right number.
That's not what I said.
Okay, you guys, let's listen to that again. So yeah, she's having a mental health crisis. She's thinking people are after her. Let's take a listen to that again.
Well, I guess we don't get that.
Hello, 911.
Hello?
This is 911. We received a call from this
Hello?
number. Do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
What's going on there?
Somebody's trying to hurt me.
Who's trying to hurt you?
A lot of them.
Who?
Well, never mind. Must not be the right number.
That's not what I said.
Okay, and then she hangs up on the dispatcher. Fair play. Thank you so much for joining us. From yesterday, the multiple first-degree charges is to punish the defendant for the different ways he unalived the victim: aggravated battery with a firearm and violation of the oath of office. Thank you so much. Because what fair play is referring to, Yeah, I'll take care of it tomorrow, definitely for sure, Rebecca, when I can contact the courts. Um, However, what fair play is referring to is that I had a question about the 3 counts of first degree murder, and so he fair play. I'm assuming you're a male. I don't know. Is trying to explain to me how that came about, the multiple first degree charges. So that's what that comment is about. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach, for keep us clean out there, Coach. All right, and hello to you too. I'm just trying to go through and say hello to everybody. Jennifer Marco, 3 to 5 years. He deserves at least 20. Where are you getting 3 to 5 years, Jennifer? And welcome. Thank you for joining us. Where's the 3 to 5 years? Is that the sentencing guidelines for one of the charges? I'm not sure. Definitely know it's not for first degree. Coach says she may have dialed that time unknowingly. Yeah, and she sounds medicated as well on that call to me. She might have been on her medication as well. Axel, I'm not going to pronounce the last name because I don't want to mess it up. Thank you and welcome. Says Sean Grayson needs more support from his fellow department and the public in general. Mistakes happen, and I could yell. Sean was extremely scared. That big guy was scared of this little woman. She was 112 pounds, 5'3". He wasn't afraid of her. He did nothing about his body language said he was afraid. And I'm sure he's getting plenty of support. If you look at the booking video, they're all catering to him and treating him very kindly. Stephanie Kidd, again, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What can we do to make a change? I want to help. I feel pain over this as if I knew her. Something has to be done. Well, it's about changing the laws, voting for people that will put laws in place that will prevent police officers and things like that from committing these types of crimes in killing citizens, whether they're black, white, or whatever. And I appreciate that because it's going to take everybody. It's not just a black issue, as one of our viewers said tonight. Okay, and Rebecca says, just think if he had time to pull a weapon, he had time to step backwards if he felt threatened by water. Absolutely. And then the thing of it is, and what we talked about at length, ad nauseum on Saturday, is the fact that he actually sent her to the threat, which makes absolutely no sense. You're scared of her throwing hot water on you, but you sent her over there to get it. And the fact of the matter is that, again, like I said, everything points to the fact that these officers, or at least Sean Grayson at minimum, and probably the dispatch department and all of that, were more than likely familiar with Sonya Massey and her mental health condition. Because even the family says she called 911 all the time. There's an audio of the mom calling 911, asking them to do a wellness check at another time on Sonya, and asking them not to send an aggressive officer, not to send someone who is prejudiced because they might harm her, probably knowing her condition and, things like that, and how she functions and whatever, and being afraid that someone would not know how to handle her without hurting her. And so that's, so this is the thing, police officers do have some training. They may not have all the training they should have, but they have enough training to know that, the number one thing is to preserve life. I've seen people slap, throw, kick, punch officers or whatever, and they didn't try to shoot them. So that makes no sense. But thank you so much, Stephanie. I believe, who was that I was talking to? Was it Stephanie? Yes. Thank you so much, Stephanie Kidd, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, absolutely, Rebecca. I mean, come on. All right, so Axel says 3 to 5 years incarcerated is excessive. Why destroy his life over one incident? Yeah, I don't even take that as a serious comment. Water can do heavy damage, especially if over 350 degrees. It could have horribly disfigured him. Yeah, I mean, hot water is dangerous. No question about that. The problem is that he sent her to the water. Why didn't he? Under normal circumstances, I was listening to another officer, and he said, normally in a situation like that, I would have said, ma'am, you still have that pot on the stove. Do you mind if I turn it off? He said, I would never send a person to something that they could use as a weapon against me. He said that officers don't do stuff like that. So that's kind of how these theories about her being set up and all of that stuff is coming from, because it's like common knowledge. Why would you put a weapon in somebody's hand, especially someone who is mentally ill? It makes no sense. Grayson was angry. This is Jennifer speaking. Grayson was angry because he saw the trip was a waste of time. He was hoping to get in the house, hoping to find drugs or an excuse to arrest her. It's very, I don't know. I won't go so far, but it does seem as though he had an agenda to get in that house. I will totally agree with that. Like he was up to something. Like the whole thing just is so far fetched, and it's so ridiculous to even be here having this issue and having a death, that it just seems like he had an alternative thinking when he approached that situation. Coach says that dispatcher, wow, that entire department from the radio to the road needs cleaned out. And nobody know how to do their job, Coach. So Jennifer says someone said it. Yeah. His partner wasn't scared. Fair Play says, I think his partner was alarmed by by Grayson's behavior. A lot of people are saying, lock up the other officer too. I actually disagree with that. I think he was quite disturbed by what happened. I really do. All right, Coach says he's charged for each time she was shot, but I think they will have a really hard time with first degree. Yeah, that's the other issue. A lot of people are thinking that they're going to have a hard time meeting the burden of proof for first degree murder, and saying that it would have been better if he had gotten something like second degree or manslaughter. It would have been more provable, unless they know something we don't know. But again, that goes back to maybe hopefully someone will convince the judge or put pressure on that judge to allow the trial to be televised. I think we could gather a lot more information if it is. Donald Davis, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is just so sad. Sonya Massey had her justice. Figure Sean Grayson brought that on himself when he threatened her by telling her in an angry voice, no, he was not afraid of her. Yeah, that big guy, that's a big dude. I mean, I was looking at him in the booking video. He's a big guy. The Buck Breaker from 1845 says, I don't understand why everyone wants to destroy this man. He made a mistake. He still has his whole life in front of him. He needs to apologize, put in the community service, and probation and move on. You can't get probation for, I don't know why you keep pushing that, buck breaker. Uh, nobody is getting community service for murder. Now, either he will be acquitted of the crime or he needs to go to prison for the rest of his life. Now, that's the end of that. Coach says, and they had full egress. Yes. She did too. Let's not forget the victim was only 36. Absolutely. Young woman. Young woman. Someone wants to get rid of you, Axel. Don't worry. Coach is in here. She's got her eye on him, Stephanie. Don't worry about it. All right. So Donald Davis says, we have to stop sugarcoating. Sean Grayson, he was wrong. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The man needs to go to prison, period. I don't care how old he is. He's young or whatever. He snuffed somebody's life out. You can't do that. Well, you shouldn't be able to do that and walk away. No way. Lisa Marie says, everyone seems to have been so impatient with her. Yeah, and a lot of it, again, a lot of the officers do not have appropriate training for handling mental health clients or citizens. However, I do think he did nail the headshot. All right, let's go ahead and give Buck a timeout. Now, this will be a warning to say something so ridiculous. Difference of opinion is okay, guys, but this stupidity right here is unacceptable. Time him out, please. All right, let's stay respectful. Coach is talking. All right, Donald Davis, no, he needs the death penalty. Well, now, me in particular, I do not believe in capital punishment. I just say send him to prison, and that's it. Absent father, I cannot pronounce the first name. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, and welcome. He told her he would shoot her in the face because of words. He did. He made the threat, and he followed through on it. And when we looked at the investigation from the Illinois State Police, their independent investigation, which was turned over to them by the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, they said that the killing was unjustified and reckless. Okay? These are police officials that said the killing was unjustified and reckless. There was absolutely no reason for him to shoot her, no less kill her. Someone named themselves after the defendant, Sean Grayson, 30. All right. So at any rate, if you can catch these guys, please go ahead and take them out of the stream. I don't want to be bothered with that silly stuff. All right, so I got rid of that one. There's someone in here named Sean Grayson 30 that were their screen name anyway. Can you take them out as well? Yeah, ridiculous. Never. Thank you so much, Donald Davis. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Tanisha Gibbs, a lot of new folks hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. She says, I keep hearing race. It's not about race. It's about right and wrong. It's just heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know, who the person was. You know, police are not here to be killing citizens. That is not, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. Josh Galt. These trolls are ruining the chat. Yeah, she's going to get them out of here. She's going to clean them up. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you guys, all of you that are new, that are joining us tonight. They're working on it, and she's the only mod in here tonight, so she's got it. Yes, he did. That's capital 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And like I said, I personally don't believe in capital punishment, but I understand your point. I don't believe in road rage either, but I understand it. All right, Fair Play says, I don't support the death penalty. It's disproportionately targeted and punishes African Americans. Absolutely. Let's see. I think Josh is frustrated with the chat. Give us a minute to get it cleaned up, Josh. We're working on it. Donald Davis, always my queen. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Always appreciate support. Josh says he was frustrated, so he freaked out and basically ruined his life over nothing. Exactly. And that's the whole thing. That is one of the things that I was talking about on yesterday. Not only did he take a life, he also ruined his own in the process because he's going to go down for this. Nobody is going to stand behind this officer. It's going to be just like Derek Chauvin. Someone brought up Derek Chauvin that killed George Floyd. Nobody's going to stand behind these officers that's going to cost the city, the county, the state, or whatever, millions on top of millions of dollars. Good officers who are out there doing their jobs, trying to stay safe, trying to get home to their families every night, are sick of it. You know, it makes it hard on them to be able to do their job and get home at night, because then you got people walking around that don't like police and target them just because someone in their family got killed by some random police officer. And now this guy, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. It serves no one for us to be, you know, empathetic and apologists for these killers, people that want to be killers in blue. It makes no sense. Tanisha Gibbs says, I think I saw this comment already. So I want to get back to some more of the cause, guys. Fair Play says race is speculative, but I would argue he was sexist based on the language Grayson used on the body cam. Definitely some elements of a bias motivated crime. I didn't hear it yet, but I'm sure we'll come across it. Are you talking about the B word? I think I heard something about he called her a crazy bee or something. I don't want to miss anybody's comments. Lavette, thank you so much for joining us. That was not freaking out. He came in with a stank attitude and being cons. He already had an attitude. He again, like I said, I think there was condescending. Okay, got you, Lavette. He was. He was. The B word. Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, absolutely. He came in on the scene again, not right. He was not doing the right thing from the onset. His attitude was very, and that's one of the things that his former supervisor warned him about, and we'll get a chance to see those documents, but warned him about his attitude and his behavior, and how he would not fare well. Probably, he was definitely going to end up in trouble and probably end up in jail because of his attitude and his behavior. I can't wait to come across that audio. I hope it's in here, because I think that's why he left Logan County and went to Sangamon County in the first place, because that chief was not playing with him. He really let him have it, and I hope I get a chance to share that with you guys when I come across it. It's a lot of audio files, but I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. So this is another call. This one is from Wednesday, July 31st. And it is marked, what kind of call is it? Okay, SPD radio call. So again, this is radio communications between the officers. It's 4 minutes and 13 seconds. Is it redacted? Let's see. And it is redacted. So this is not the full call, but let's listen to see what it is.
Again, 918, 739.
739.
And you start caller
caller states that their daughter is having a mental breakdown. We do have CMED en route also.
En route. 739 en route. 842, you can cancel 739. Put me on that.
10-4, 739 disregard.
7-4, 881, I'll be en route to 4th Street.
881, 10-4. 842, for some reason I'm getting that, oh, it's your south wind call. How can I clear that out?
Report me, please.
10-4. 10-4.
Classified right.
10-4.
881, we'll be right here for them.
842, 23.
10-4. Lincoln 868. Start 4,000 South Veterans, 4,000 South Veterans, 1050 PD only. It's going to be a maroon and black vehicle in a northbound lane.
You know.
Still 5 lights. So show me that station.
10-4. Lincoln 863.
Alright.
Jim Stark is on the phone for you.
10-4, you can transfer him, thank you.
10-4.
G72 traffic stop.
Go ahead.
100 in Jefferson. Silver Hyundai.
10-4.
863.
Go ahead.
Can you clear me off of this report? Maybe my computer just went out. I'm gonna run by the station and try to get a new one here real quick.
10-4.
I have 10.
10-4.
863.
Go ahead.
Got a new computer. Can you put me on a 44 though, please?
You're requesting a 44?
Yes, please.
10-4. Lincoln 884, Lincoln 868.
863.
2001 Wabash, 2001 Wabash. It's phasing to this location. It's possibly going to be from the Goodwill. We've had a previous 911 call from there where a Sienna subject tried to call in a subject choking.
En route.
867, keep put me on with 918.
10-4.
772 microphone.
10-4.
Traffic.
Making 884.
Go ahead.
You can cancel a unit. There's nothing going on in the store. They're about
10-4, 868 disregard.
10-8.
And 739, 868.
Go ahead. 868.
1514 South First, 1514 South First for a disturbance. Caller just keeps saying, are you guys going to pull up or what? Says mom has locked him out of the residence. Doesn't want to talk to us about anything.
En route. En route.
Capital Plaza on 23. 10-4. I'll get you another one.
Bye.
Whoever is northbound at Wabash and Veterans, your back lights are still on, just 43. Sam 624, check your MDC.
Lincoln 868, 23.
10-4.
Lincoln 868.
Go ahead.
Can you call the 17 back and see if he still needs us? I'm not getting an answer at the door.
10-4.
739, 1060.
10-4.
Hey, turn 41.
10-4. 868, are you talking to the mother?
10-4, I got an answer on the side door.
842, can you show me around to that first street call? 842, you can probably 22. We're about to wrap it up here. 10-4.
Lincoln 830 from 867 go to 3.
Okay, so that was a radio communication. Welcome, Novicity. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yes, we will keep spreading the word. We got a lot more to cover, and I'm going to cover all of it. And welcome, Michelle. Good evening to you. And who else is in here? Femi, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. Okay, so let's keep going. That was also a radio call between the officers. You have to turn your devices up because the calls are very low. Sometimes you get clear ones, sometimes you don't. All right, so this is also, all of these calls are from July the 31st, I assume. And this is a 911 call. I'm not sure if this is, now hold on a second, because she was killed on July the 6th. So I'm not sure what the date of the call is. But this is another 911 call. Apparently maybe it was released on the 31st. I'm not sure, because they don't mark it. They don't have anything. So I don't know, guys.
911 address of emergency. Okay, what's going on there?
Well, my daughter is being sporadic, and she's been mentally having a mental breakdown, which is something new to me. She's not a danger to herself. She's not a danger to me. But when she gets upset, then she thinks everybody's after her. Like paranoid schizophrenic. She thinks everybody's after her.
Okay. How old is she?
Yeah. She's 35.
What's her name?
Sonya Massey.
Sonya, you said?
I'm just answering the question. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm sorry. Hello. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Her name is Sonya?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And what's your name?
Donna.
Donna, what's your phone number there?
He's out in the front of the house talking so loud that you could probably hear her to the end of the block.
Okay.
She had a car keys in her hand, but they told me, the mental people told me to call 911 because she could get in her car and kill herself or somebody, because she has ran a couple of red lights when she went, and so she's being sporadic, and I don't want you guys to hurt her, please. Don't.
Okay,
please
ma'am, I've got some questions I've got to ask you. Does she have a weapon?
Okay. No.
Okay. Is this a suicide attempt?
No, she won't. She's not going to hurt herself or anyone else.
Okay. Is she alert?
She's alert.
Okay.
Mom.
All right. Ma'am, we're going to get help on the way, okay? If anything changes or she tries to leave, call me back.
Okay, my sister has something to say that she saw that I didn't see. She said, never mind.
Okay.
We got it covered.
Help's on the way.
Thank you. And please don't send no combative policemen that are prejudiced, please.
Okay, well, that would be none of them, man. They just do their job, okay?
Oh, they're all they're scary. I'm scared of the police. Please,
okay. There's nothing to be fearful of, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes they make the serious bit worse.
Okay. Help's on the way, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, that's the call that I was talking about. Did you guys hear that one good? There's so many people in here. I may miss some of you guys. Michael, thank you so much. I said hi to Michelle, Donald, and whom else? Who am I missing here? I think Supreme Novice is a big YouTuber. Okay, welcome. Respect to him. He keeps his foot on this story. Big ups to him. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, Novicity. I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'll have to definitely look up your channel. You guys go over if you have not. You guys seem to know who he is already. Yes, TV. Thank you so much. Justice for Sonya Massey. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Yeah, I am definitely going to stay on top of this. We have a lot of information to cover and to figure out what exactly happened here. And that's what we intend to do. Yeah, you're busy tonight, Coach. Thank you so much. Everybody, give a thumbs up or something for Coach. She's holding us down in the chat by herself tonight. Yeah, thank you guys for coming to hang out over here with us on this story. It's very important, and we need to keep this going for sure. So this is call, and it says it is identified as a dispatch call to American Ambulance. I believe that is the company that transported Miss Massey to the hospital when she was shot. So let's see what is said on this call. It is only 23 seconds, but we will see what they said.
American Ambulance Dispatch, may I help you?
If you guys have your BLS rig, go to for somebody having mental problems.
Okay, no problem. I'll get, I think it's, what are you guys, 6? 6.
All right, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, that was a call to the ambulance company. I guess they were calling after she was actually shot. So let's listen to some more. This one says call detail. So this is the actual log, and it does have a description in it. Let's see what this is. This is an actual log. Let's take a look at this, because I am looking for, someone said my camera, I don't know why my camera is blurring out. I do see that, but I don't know why. Hopefully it'll clear up on its own. Let's take a look at this, because I am looking for whatever report was filed by Officer Grayson and his partner after the incident. So this is not it. This says July the 5th, which would have been the day before at nearly 2:30 in the afternoon. So it says I spoke to Sonya at the hospital. She appeared to be having some 1096 issues. I'm assuming that's a code for mental health. She stated a neighbor came over to her house and began causing problems and broke her front driver's side window with a brick. So if you guys remember, when the officers got to the house on the day that she was murdered, the second officer that actually searched the outside of the house, the outside grounds, inquired about her windows being busted out in her car. So Sonya then admitted to breaking her own windows. Yeah, she told the officer she broke them on the back driver's side in an attempt to get into the car to get away. She was unable to get in through the back, so she ripped out the driver's side window in order to gain entry into the vehicle. Sonya had some minor scrapes, which she stated were from reaching in through the broken window. Sonya said she had recently been released from a mental hospital in Granite City, and she showed me paperwork from Mobile Crisis, which was dated 7/3. She also stated she was out with Mobile Crisis and City Police today, who attempted to run her off the road. Sonya was going to seek medical treatment for her injuries. Photos of her injury and the vehicle were taken and uploaded to evidence.com. So that was at 2:26 p.m. So apparently these logs go in reverse from the earliest to the latest, would be so let's see, at 12:50:01, you guys can see this, right? Okay, let's see what we can see here. 12:50, female keeps saying, okay, there's an open line, so maybe she called 911. This is one of her 911 calls. There's an open line at 12:50:18 and at 12:50:26. Female keeps saying, "I'm gonna F you up." And now she is going to kill someone if they get near her car. 12:51, now threatening to kill someone and calling them a bitch. 12:54, now screaming she is going to tear someone up. So she's having a breakdown. This is basically one of her 911 calls where she was having probably some type of psychotic break. 12:56, female yelling, someone busted her window out. Then at 12:56:32, she hangs up the phone. They are indicating that they documented the call. That's what this narrative added. Let's see, 12:59, narrative added from associated call. When asked what caller's name was, she advised she can't do it right now and hung up. So it looks like she's calling back and forth. She's yelling, she's screaming, she's cussing someone out. She thinks someone trying to go near her car. And they're just documenting the various phases of the call. Because it looks like she's hanging up and calling back, hanging up and calling back. 109:04. Subject advised she was hit with a brick, is at, and it's redacted out, Hoover. We know Hoover Street was her address. Per SBD, she has talked with Mobile Crisis 3 times in the past 2 weeks. So at 1:23, Sonya mother, Donna Massey. So maybe this is the call that we just listened to. And then at 1:25, Malachi Hill Massey is her son, and the phone number. So see, they're familiar with this family, with Sonya Massey and her family. The police department is what I'm saying. They are familiar with her. 1:56 p.m., 111 took photos of the damage to the car. So they just actually dispatched someone out to her house. Conflicting stories as to how the window got busted out. 1:57, Sonya arrived at St. John's to seek treatment of her mental state. Sergeant 111, I guess that's what SG is, made sure she got inside the hospital. So they took her to the hospital, and that's where we end up at 2:56 p.m., where they're documenting that they spoke to someone named Sonya at the hospital. She appeared to be having some 1096 issues. She stated a neighbor came over to her house and began causing problems and broke out her front driver's side window with a brick. Sonya then admitted to breaking her own window on the back driver's side in an attempt to get into the car to get away. She was unable to get in through the back and ripped out the driver's side window in order to gain entry into the vehicle. Sonya had some minor scrapes. They don't identify where the scrapes are, because when we look at the autopsy report, indicates some blunt force trauma injuries on her left leg. So I don't know if this, because I was wondering how that happened to her. Besides the gunshot wound to the head, she had trauma on her left leg. So maybe this is where that trauma came from. I'm losing track of y'all comments, but I'll get back to them in just a minute. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing thus far, and what this tells me is that this police department was pretty familiar with Sonya, and it looks like her family as well. They even have her son's name and his cell phone number in their narrative log. Hold on a second. Supreme E, I don't know if I said hello. to you. Thank you and welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for bringing this info. Please focus your camera. Oh yeah, I hope it cleared itself up. Supreme E. Okay, at Navicity. I have to definitely go and look up the channel for Navicity. I've never seen that channel before. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us tonight. All right, so yes, TV is saying justice for Sonya Massey. Absolutely. Nolison or Ronaldson. I'm sorry, Joseph Ronaldson. Maybe it's the last name. Thank you so much. Justice for Sonya Massey. Absolutely. Amen. Sonya Massey, all the way. Justice. Yes. Yeah, Coach is working tonight. She's working. We're going to do something nice for Coach. Supreme E is better now. Can see your beauty. Thank you so much. Let's see. These dispatchers would want me as a supervisor. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. You know, these police departments, I tell you. They leave something to be desired. Donald says to all the wonderful chat, if so support Sonya Massey GoFundMe account. Her father has the Sonya Massey GoFundMe still posted. Okay, great, Donald. Thank you for sharing that. And if you can email me if I can, maybe I can just Google it. You also could go to, Google and type it in. I would definitely do that. You guys, please go and support this family for the GoFundMe account. Donald is indicating that that they still have it up. That would be great. I will try and Google it and add it to the link in the description of these videos for this one tonight and the one Saturday as well. And we're going to do another one because we have a lot of documentation to go through. Thank you so much, Donald, for sharing that. That's very important. Michelle says, so why was the family not notified when she was unalived until the next day when they had family contact information? Exactly. See, this is why it's important to see all of this kind of stuff, right? Because then we know exactly how much wrong you did. We already know y'all wrong. Now let's see how wrong you are. Levette says they are familiar, and so is the hospital where Grayson's fiance works. I keep hearing that. I'll find out. I'll find out about the fiance working at the St. John's Hospital and being familiar with Sonya Massey, and that's how Grayson knew her as well. Coach says that concerns me about the treatment center. Everyone let her down. Yeah, this is a whole breakdown in the system. Absolutely. Donald says, I'm upset because I wish that a member of her family could have stayed with her. I'm just upset the way it went down. Sean Grayson was no help. I don't know what to say about him. I think it's what you were saying. Yeah. It's like everybody let her down. The thing with mental illness is you can call them crazy, psycho, however you want to say it, but mental illness is a disease. It's no different than diabetes, heart condition, or anything else. So people, the erratic behaviors and all of that stuff is all a part of that. And we as a society have to become sensitive to the plight of these people, because they're not doing it because they want to be that way. They do that because they have a sickness. And it's unfortunate that we don't have people still in this day and time that are sensitive to that issue and that condition. It's really sad. Make sure to verify the GoFundMe. There are folks that set up fake accounts. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Keep me on my toes, Coach. Tanisha Gibbs, thank you so much. Did his fiance work at the treatment center? Yeah, that's what someone in the comments are saying right now, and I keep hearing that. But I haven't verified it. I will though. Kathy Slaw, thank you. Again, welcome. Cop was rude to her even before she opened the front door. Yeah, when she raised her hands, she only had mitts on when she raised her hands. She previously set the pot down on the counter. She also had poured some of the water out. Did you guys see that? She had poured some of that water out. Donald said, I'm upset with why a member or a close friend couldn't check on her every day. I don't understand why she was living by herself, period. Now I don't understand that. Tanisha says she heard the fiance work there and she and Sonya had an argument. Yeah. It's all going to come out. But yeah, that would make sense why he was so antagonistic towards her, as someone else is saying in the comment before. He came to the door with an attitude. That's why I believe he wanted to get into her house so badly. Like he wanted a reason to hurt her. Absolutely. You can look at his reaction and tell he had an ulterior motive. He had alternative thinking on the onset. Why are you asking someone who is calling for help for ID and all of that? First of all, you shouldn't even be in the house. We've already established that. But now that you're in there, if you're not going to continue to check and make sure she's safe and whatever, the last thing you should be doing is asking her for ID as though she is the suspect. You know, what was that all about? And then the explosive reaction to, even with the cultural differences, if he didn't understand, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus and the whole context behind that, even if he didn't understand it, the reaction was excessive. It was it was explosive for no reason. Levette says mental illness is just as serious as cancer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach says, interesting, Tanisha Gibbs. Hopefully it comes to the surface. Right. We've got to figure out about that girlfriend because that's relevant. That's relevant. And again, the quickness of the grand jury indictment and the extensive charges that they gave him, it is a reason why they charged him with premeditated murder. Why premeditated murder when he was called to a scene? He was just a police officer responding to a call. How was it premeditated? Now, premeditation can happen within seconds. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. We understand that. But the thing is that I think that there's a deeper reason, and that the public is not aware of, and that they know. I'm certain they know things that we don't know. Even the calls that are released to the public, you hear me saying that the calls are, in some cases, are marked as redacted. So there's information that most certainly that we don't have. Kathy says, yes, I saw water poured out too. She had poured out some of that water. Absolutely. Absolutely. Levette says, if you slow the video down, you can see she had picked the pot up again while she was bending down. Okay. They were just words. He was unhinged. Yeah, bottom line, his partner may be the key to the premeditation that may have sealed the grand jury. Yeah, he was mad at the partner. I didn't see the video, but someone said on one part of the video or another video or something, he was cussing and calling his partner names to the other officers when they got to the scene. Probably because he turned his body cam on. All right, Tanisha says, I think she picked the pot back up for cover from the gun in her face. Okay. Because I did hear something from some other podcaster that said that she did throw a little of the water or something, and that's why she said she was sorry. I didn't see that. The video I saw, when she said, "I rebuke you," he pulled his weapon and threatened to shoot her. And that's when I saw her like drop the pot or sit it on the counter. And like, well, while she, in that, split seconds, she had poured some of the water out. She had already started pouring some of the water out, but then she like dropped it on the counter. And because when he shot her, the pot was still sitting up there on the counter. And then she was bending down saying, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But he was still even covered by the counter because he had to go around the counter to get a good aim to shoot her. I don't know. We'll keep looking. We're going to keep looking. We're going to keep digging. Kathy says, if I was the fiance, I certainly wouldn't be after his horrendous. I wouldn't be after his horrendous acts. Yeah, it would be interesting. I'm certain that she's going to be subpoenaed and has to testify in court. Donald says mental illness is like being bipolar. It's like having swing moves. Yeah, people can't control this. It's mind and meditation of mind. I do believe that. Yeah, but when someone has mental illness, they have to be trained. They have to go through a series of therapeutic exercises, so to speak, to learn how to be able to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible. In some cases, depending on how severe the mental illness is, it may be impossible for some people who suffer with that condition. Supreme E says he called his partner a dipstick. Yeah, I know he was mad with the partner for sure. Yeah, his partner tried to hold it. Yeah, he sure did. That's what I said. I think that a lot of people are mad. They want to see the other officer charged as well because they said he didn't stop it, and I get it. But I think that guy was now Grayson has only been on the job a year with that particular department. I think he's been a cop for only a few. He's a young officer. He's not and the other guy didn't look any more experienced than Grayson was. I have no idea why they had them two together, but he looked traumatized himself to me. Kathy Slaw says he was telling her to drop the pot and she was already down on the floor. Sure did. I saw that. I kept saying, who is he talking to? He had already shot her. Supreme E, he was telling her to drop the pot knowing she didn't have the pot in her hands. Yeah, well, a lot of times officers would do that for the purposes of recording because he did turn his recorder on or body cam on at that point when as soon as he shot her, he turned his camera on. Big Sounds, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome. He says, they say, I don't know if it's male or female, they say exactly, she didn't understand that she was being asked to put down a pot. She was trying to figure out why they are yelling at me with a gun aimed at me. I'm sure she was scared out of her mind. And with paranoid schizophrenia, she already has probably audible and visual hallucinations and things like that. And so even when their own behavior is erratic, how you react to them could scare them senseless, really. So yeah, I'm sure she was scared out of her mind. It's hard to even think about that. Fair Play says partner post shooting stated he didn't fear for his life and only bagged up due to a habit from training. Really? He admitted to that? Exactly. She didn't understand that she was being asked. Okay, I saw that one already. The jail that they have Sonya in looks like a furnace apartment. That jail don't look like a jail. I haven't seen. Did they move him? I think they moved him to another county because they booked him at Sangamon County. I think that is the video that we are seeing floating around. That they actually booked him in Sangamon County, but moved him somewhere else. Big Sound said, "What? I mean, am I pulling up the same comment over and over again?" Okay, unless they had typed it twice. Coach says, in knowledge of a mobile crisis unit, why not have them on the scene? Those 911 calls indicates that should have been option number one. True. I didn't think about that, Coach. You are right about that. Cora, thank you so much for joining us. I think when she picked up the pot, I think she was trying to show him it was empty. And when he shot her, the pot flew out of her hand. Well, the pot was sitting when she was on the floor after he shot her. If you look at the video, the pot is sitting on the sink, on the edge of the sink. Yeah, thanks, Coach. I'm seeing duplicate messages from Big Sounds. Yeah, because I keep pulling up the same comment. I'm thinking I'm doing it, but I think they're putting duplicate some kind of way in the comments. All right, so let's keep going, guys. Let's listen to some more calls because I do want to take a look at the employment records and in terms of his personnel file tonight, and then we'll shut it down. And let's see, this says cat message. I'm not sure what. Well, I'll show this to you guys. I don't know what this is. I'm not sure what it is, but let's see it. What is this? If you can help us out, Coach, that would be great. All right, it says CAD message, CAD. That's possibly Sonya Massey. Didn't have enough for a blank earlier. What is this? Where was she at earlier? This is on July the 5th at 12:54 p.m. And then they say, oh, is this radio communication? Because they're saying copy, thanks. So these must be officer numbers, SF 11513, SG 04972. That must be two officers communicating. We don't know who these officer numbers belong to. Then they says drives a black, and they got it black redacted. Drives a black Chevy SUV, either a Traverse or Equinox. The other officer says copy, thanks. And then they say she's seen blank at least 3 times for sure in the past 3 weeks. So that would be mental health. Okay, and then the officer says good info. Is this SG Sean Grayson? Y'all see that? Remember now, we're talking about his familiarity with her. I know about the girlfriend and all of that. I haven't verified that. What I am looking at is some type of printout. What are y'all saying? Because one of the things that they talked about was, or one of the issues was, whether or not Grayson was given information about her before he went on the call. I think in the spirit of Sonya recognized his spirit. That's why she rebuked him. Yeah, but I want to get back to that. When she answered the door, he had his right hand on his gun. He was ready to shoot her at that time. I didn't see that, but I believe it. Big Sound says, yes, those were to catch your attention. Oh, okay. All right. This looks like CAD from patrol vehicles. That's what it says, CAD call. So what is it? Is it like a printout? A CAD message is a message sent through a computer-aided dispatch system, which is a software and hardware platform used by emergency response agencies and public service organizations to manage. Oh no, the comment got cut off. Finish your comment, Supreme E. We need to know what this is that we're looking at. They have him in a nice furnished jail that looks like an apartment. Sean Grayson needs to be in prison. In general population with the inmates, they are not going to put him in general population. He wouldn't survive it, not in the same county. No way. The main server dumps the radio traffic encoded by unit. Bingo, you just nailed it, King Queen. Okay, where's Supreme E? Supreme E is explaining this. Okay, so what we're looking at, let's try to figure this out. At someone with the initials SF, number, probably their officer number 11513, says that's probably Sonya Massey. Now, this is not the date of the incident, though. This is on July the 5th. Didn't have enough of a blank earlier. What are they redacting here? She didn't have enough of a what earlier? Someone with the initials SG, number 049772, said copy, thanks. Jeff SG says, where was she at earlier? They respond, redacted, drives a black Chevy SUV, either a Traverse or Equinox. Copy, thanks. And then they say, she's seen blank. Is that the doctor, the mental health doctor? At least 3 times for sure in the last 2 weeks. And SG says, good info. I want to know what this document is. I want to know exactly, okay. Let's see here. So let's listen, look at this. Supreme E says, a CAD message is a message sent through a computer-aided dispatch system, which is a software and hardware platform used by emergency response agencies and public safety organizations to manage resources and dispatch personnel in response to calls for service. CAD messages can help first responders receive important information before they arrive, which can lead to quicker responses. And geez. Okay, we'll wait. Thank you so much, because that's important to know. Okay, as soon as they Supreme gets the rest of that message up, we'll some of the names are redacted. Yeah, but whose name? Who is it? Levette says, I have watched the body cam video multiple times, and I believe she was speaking to the other officer when she said she rebuked. Oh, now I didn't think about that. I have to look at it again, Levette. I'm not sure. I thought she was talking to Grayson. Tanisha said, I wonder if it's telling them info before they go out on the call. That's exactly what it is. From what they're explaining to us now in the chat. Free Country says, whatever the system is, it failed. Exactly. Free Country, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So that is what, that's what it is. You nailed it. Yep. King Queen says, enough money for Uber. That's why she drove herself to the hospital. Oh, okay. Because he said, hold on. Let's go back. That's possibly Sonya Massey. Blank didn't have enough for and you're saying for an Uber earlier. Where was she at? So-and-so drives a black Chevy SUV, either a Traverse or Equinox. She's seen blank at least 3 times for sure in the past week. Okay. So it's starting to make sense now. So, she hadn't had enough money for Uber. That's why she drove herself to the hospital. You're probably right. CAD is only for recording input information. Very few have an AI option, usually for EMS and fire. Okay. You're welcome, Free Country says. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And we're gonna figure this out. A lot of these documents and stuff like that. Like I said, it looks to me like they just got a bunch of requests in from the media and just started dumping files onto this site without regard, for order or anything else for anybody. So you have to sift through everything to try and figure out and piece the information together to make, for it to be coherent. And that's what is happening right now. Who's saying something? Bren, thank you for joining us, Bren. His partner's name is Dawson Farley. You know the internet ain't no joke. I thought that they didn't release the other partner's name, but here we go. Wow. All right. So, all right, let's listen to this call. This one is recorded as, this is one of the July 31st dumps. Oh, the call is from July the 5th at 12:49 p.m. This says radio call. So this might be correlated with that document we just looked at. All right. So let's take a listen to this one. 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
116.
Go ahead.
2868 Hoover, 2868 Hoover, 23 feet from this location. Have an open line on 911. Female screaming that she's going to hurt someone, saying she's going to kill someone if they go near her car. Just open line of her making threats. 111.
10-4. Queue me up an OP service ticket here at the smoke shop as well. When I get done with that one, I'll dispo it.
10-4. 111.
Go ahead.
When you clear that paper, can you start 2868 Hoover and back 116 up on that 1016, please?
We're out to here shortly.
100.
100.
Put me on that ticket with 116. I'm right behind you.
10-4. 118.
Go ahead.
One of the subjects from your earlier evictions on the phone for you. Can we transfer him out?
Yeah, that's fine.
118.
18.
You can put me on a follow-up to that 848 North 7th Street, apartment A.
10-4. Units in red to Hoover. Hoover's calling, saying the neighbor hit her with a brick. Couldn't give us any more information than that.
10-4, 1060.
601, checking your status.
All right.
10-4, 642, checking your status. 10-4, 714, checking your status.
10-8.
10-4, 742, checking your status.
10-8.
10.
11's out.
10.
11, who called about being hit with a brick?
Subject at they refuse to give us any names, just
10-4, we're in contact with her. She doesn't seem to know what's going on, so I'm going to make contact 2868.
10-4.
100.
100.
Do you have a number for whoever called in?
I do. I will try to call her. 100. She's refusing to tell me her address. Just keeps saying she's going to come outside.
Hey, 16, I think it's further down here.
Units on Hoover. It's highly 96.
11, supposedly she's either on her way to St. John's or already there. I'm going to run up and check.
10.
111, 116.
Go ahead.
I put her name, everything on the people's field and the vehicle field, the vehicle she's driving. It's all there for you.
Got it. Thank you. I'll let you know what we get when we get there.
10-4. Same at 116.
Go ahead.
I'm standing by at the residence. Graham wants to come over here, wants to talk to me. We'll put a ATL out on that vehicle too after 111 checks the hospital. If she's not there, we'll do an ATL, just check on her welfare.
10-4.
11 over 23 cents.
10-4. 602, checking your status.
10-8.
10-4. 738, checking your status.
10-8.
10-4. 745, checking your status. 10-4. 748, checking your status.
10-8, ma'am.
10-4.
16 from 11. The vehicle just pulled up here.
Perfect.
714.
17.
102nd Street, 102nd. To check on welfare, we received a call on 911 from an elderly female saying something's going on in her neighborhood. She hasn't seen anyone in a while. Just requesting you check on her, make sure she's 10-4.
10-4, ma'am. 714. Show me 23. 714.
Go ahead.
Per home health care, can you send my EMS to this location?
Can you advise on patient status?
Very disoriented, doesn't even know who I am. She usually does.
100 segment. SG 100 segment. But they're starting at 1052 for a man with chest pains at post 2.
729.
729.
Just 43, your fire department's being paid 701 North Cartwright for an alarm investigation. Fire department.
Okay, so it looks like they were taking several or responding to several calls. I'm blurring out again. I can see it. But the call there was regarding the log that we looked at where we had to scroll all the way back, and Sonya was hanging up and calling back and all of that. So it looks like that was the actual 911 call, and they sent the printout of the log as well. So let's see, here is another radio call that may be regarding the Uber driving record or whatever. Well, this is another log. I'll show you guys this. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not going to go through it, but I'll let you guys see, because I want you to be able to see exactly everything that I'm looking at as well. So this is some type of, get it in there. This is some type of log. I'm not sure if it's outlining. Okay, it's telling maybe the names of the officers, the duration of the call, or the name of the person that took the calls. Maybe this is just a printout of someone's work log. I'm not sure. It has printed by Chris Muller, SCSO Radio Channel 1 at 12:51. So I'm not sure. I'll go through and figure out what all of these documents are. And again, if someone knows in the chat what they are, if y'all can help us out, that would be great. We're just trying to go through everything and get an idea of what type of information is being released to the public. So here's another 911 call. This one is about 7 minutes long. So let's see what this one is. Let me get it in the stream. And let's see what this one is.
911 address.
Fuck you up, bitch. Fuck you up. I'm about to fuck you up. I'm about to fuck you up. I'm about to fuck you up. Come anywhere near me, beat anybody. Come here. Come here. Hey. Come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. Come here. Come here. What the your motherfucking ass over here, bitch. Come here. Wait till you come here. Wait till you come here. If you don't let me get in this car, I'm going to kill you, hoe. Right. Come here. Come here. When I get you, I'm going to kill you. Bitch. You did this. Yeah, you did. And when I get in, I'm going to kill you, bitch. Bitch, you know where my teeth is, bitch. You, bitch. I'm gonna get you. Bitch. Wait, bitch. Wait, bitch. You wait, bitch. Wait, bitch. Yep. You knew that my people was out here, didn't you? You didn't know that my people was out here? Huh? Huh? 'Cause me, see her ass. Huh? Huh? Come here. Wait, what? You think all those more people? You made me break my window? Huh? You want me to stop? Watch this. Where'd she go? You ready? What? Google what? Because I take care of you, bitch. Where you running to? You got, bitch, I'm finna tear your ass up. Bitch, though. Bitch, though. Bitch. Bitch. Where you go? Who is this? Sniff this what I said. Where'd she go? Hey. Where'd she go? Where that girl go who bust my window? Cuz. Yeah. She busted my window. Right now? I don't know, but she need to be found. Where's she at? She running around. Why she just bust my window? Shana. Where she at? She running around here. It's that. I'm gonna say she busted it. I ain't busted shit, bitch. You did. How? Play a little game, bitch. Where this bitch go?
That was interesting. I'm wondering how they are. That apparently was Sonya Massey probably arguing. I'm thinking from what we saw so far with the neighbor about her car window. So, I mean, was the police there, just standing there? Or was she have an open line on the 911 call? I'm not sure how they got that recording. Um, so let's keep going. And again, it sounds like, which explains what her mom was talking about when she called for the wellness check and saying, please don't send an aggressive officer. Please don't send someone who is prejudiced because they will kill her. That is what the mom said on the previous call that we listened to. So one of the things with mental health patients is they will go through episodes of not high anxiety, but agitation and things like that. And if you don't know, if you're not properly trained, you will not know how to deal with that and take it personal and all of that kind of stuff. So that is apparently what we were just listening to. So here's another. Yeah, I think that was because that call was marked 911 call 1 on July 5th at 12:49 p.m. So this is called. So apparently they had an open line on the 911 call and recorded her. So this is a short one. It's only 1 minute and 37 seconds. Another 911 call. So let me get that one in the stream. And let's listen and see what this one is.
Central Dispatch, Mark.
Hello. Hello.
Central Dispatch.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Okay, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak up?
Like she coming down now.
No. It's
Okay, I can't understand what street.
Hoover.
Hoover?
Ow. Yes.
You said Hoover?
Yes.
Okay, what is the problem?
Man, you guys. Someone come over here and get this girl.
Sorry, what is the problem?
This girl hit me with a brick.
Okay.
Hurting real bad. She's sitting. Not her boss.
Okay, and why did your neighbor hit you with a brick?
Well, come find out, cause y'all, I can't tell you when I'm hurting real bad. Then I go to the. Hold on now, cause it's crazy in my butt.
What is your name?
Just cause y'all come, I can't do it right now, man. Sorry.
Okay. What is your name?
Right address. I can't. I don't know hers. That's the only.
What is your name?
Wow. And I have to say this, she had no business being left alone. Her condition sounds extremely severe. Wow. Now that one always almost brought me to tears. So let's listen to a few more. They have some more reports. And we'll go through this set of calls. And let's see what this report is. Similar to one of the, this is another detailed report. Let me put it in the stream so you guys can see it. And we'll have to correlate it, I guess, to whatever calls we listen to, because like I said again, they are not in order. So the Hoover Street in Springfield is her address, and they're saying that the caller was Sonya Massey. What date is this? So this is on 7/6 at 12:50 a.m. So this is the day that she was killed. This is her. This is the date that she was actually killed. So this one is lengthy. How many pages? This one is 9 pages long. What I may end up doing is separating the pages and uploading it to the community tab. But we'll take a look through. And I guess these are, if you guys can see me scrolling, let me look at my StreamYard screen. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Let me look at some of the comments here. I'm not exactly sure where we stopped off in the comments, but let me catch up with you guys. Yes, those were the catch your attention, big sounds. I saw that. Okay, Supreme E is still explaining. I think we saw that one. Before we go through this one, let's see. They said, okay, I think I didn't see that one, his partner's name. That's the last one I saw. Okay, so Free Country says he ordered a Sonya Massey shirt from Amazon. Yeah, I'm sure they got all kinds of merch out there. It dumps all of the records for that 24 hours. You have to manually sort calls. It's a task. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Free Country says, so they sent that drunken evil cop to her home. He's not safe. Yeah, he just as unstable as she is. I agree with that. Free Country says cops lie to make people the bad ones. Yeah. Happens all the time. Donald says, I want the second cop to face justice as well that came in the home of Sonya Massey. Also, I think the dispatcher is lying. Because we can hear the dispatcher's voice, she could be saying anything. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, what we can make out, some of the calls are so low, you really cannot make out what all they're saying to each other, and especially on those radio calls. King says, if you look at the video closely, she was still holding her phone in her left hand when she walked over to the stove. Then she picked up the oven mitts. Okay. The second cop pointed the gun. This is pointed a gun. That's a criminal offense. Well, I think he was following suit of the first officer. I tell you guys, I really, I really don't think it was a whole lot with it with the second officer. I really don't. Coach Karen says start time is The unit on the scene, in time is task completed. Okay. So she's helping us understand what we're looking at. King says the second officer also said drop the pot. Yeah, he did. I heard him when he said that. But again, he seemed like he was just following the leader, I don't know. He just seemed like inexperienced, young, wet behind the ears, didn't know, it wasn't, there was something different with him than it was with Officer Grayson. Kathy Slaw, I'm not sure if I said hello to you earlier, says, I wonder if the person she was on the phone with when the cops came and remained on the line. She was talking to 911. We heard the call because she kept telling them the deputies were there. We did hear the call, and dispatch kept trying to hang up the phone and let her talk to the deputies. And she said, no, just hold on a minute. So that's who she was on the phone with. She was on the phone. She called 911 back after Grayson and his partner came inside the house. So they were on the phone. They did eventually hang up from her. And as soon as they hung up from her, within minutes, she was dead. She was shot. Coach says she was on the phone with 911. Yes, she didn't want the dispatcher to hang up. Yeah, we listened to that call yesterday. King says, with, not with. Error, that's okay. Typos happen. Don't worry about it. And Coach, you're so right. The dispatcher did hang up on Sonya Massey. Then she called 911. Yeah, they did hang up from her. Sonya had a difference with the cops, with that cop's girlfriend a few days earlier. Yeah, someone else said that in the chat. I believe that cop took that call to retaliate in behalf of his girlfriend. He was up to something, that would make sense. And a lot of people are reporting that. I have not heard that report or been able to verify that information, but it would make sense to me if that was the case. Coach says I just call that typing in cursive. Yeah. Levette says that sounds like her breaking the windows on the vehicle. Yeah. Tanisha says, I wonder if the dispatcher stayed on the phone because she told him to wait a minute. Yeah, no, they did hang up. He talked to her for a minute, but he kept saying, stay on the phone for what? The deputies are there. And she kept saying, yeah, but just hold on. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. And she was dead moments later. All right. That girlfriend or whatever. Yeah, I'm believing that story too, but at this point, it's not confirmed. Not for me anyway. I haven't heard it except from people commenting about the girlfriend. I heard the same thing. Yeah, that story is floating around. This is why I'm going through the actual documents. I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again tonight, because I want to be able to kind of get through all of the conjecture and get to the facts of the case. So that's the whole point in all of this. Giovanna, welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm mentally ill. I used to call the cops on myself until a few years ago when the cops beat my ass. I just needed a ride to the mental hospital. Apparently they know I'm mentally ill before they came. And it's very possible because as you can see, they do provide background information on the callers. It's very possible. And if you're saying that you were a frequent emergency caller, they probably were familiar with you or your case as well. Yeah, it's very possible. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you sue the department if they beat you up. Shelley Gold, welcome, and thank you for joining us. The shooting was bad enough, but the total disregard of first aid, disgusting. Oh yeah, they're gonna get them for that. That not rendering aid. Again, someone mentioned Derek Chauvin from the George Floyd case. that was one of the aggravating circumstances that convicted Derek Chauvin. The failure to render aid is a big deal. And in Chauvin's case, with George Floyd, he not only failed to render him aid, he wouldn't let others render him aid. There was a EMT or some type of medical person on that scene that just happened to be walking up and down that street and came up on that incident, and it told him, look, I'm a medical whatever, nursing aide or whatever, whoever they were, and he would not allow them to assist him either. So in fact, a 9-year-old child on that scene says, we need to call the police on the police. It was crazy. Coach says in one of the recordings, you hear a gunshot and him saying shots fired. I can't confirm it. Confirm if it was on the 911 call or over radio transmission. I think we listened to that call yesterday. Yeah, you can hear, well, someone was reporting the call. I think the dispatch was reporting the shooting to one of the superiors and letting them hear the radio or whatever, and you could hear the pops from Grayson shooting her. Jerry, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a hit. They know family. This was a hit. They knew the family wasn't there. Justice for Sonya Massey, starting with $50 million, Sangamon County of Springfield, Illinois. Yeah, they definitely knew the family. I don't know how long you've been here, but we saw in one of the logs where they had her son's phone number. The police department did, and it's documented in their notes. Giovanni says, my friend was a dispatcher in my city and said that for whatever reason, when cops are dispatched to my address, it mentions on mentally ill somehow. That's probably for the best. Well, it is a good thing if the information is not used against the citizen. That's the whole thing. The problem is when if as you said earlier, if they know that they're going to respond to a mental health patient and then beat them up, that is not the purpose of having that information. Free Country says they kept the call open. Yeah, sounds like it. That's what they did. That's how they were able to record her with all of that banter about her neighbor. Shelley says, you are so level-headed. Thank you. Levette, that was on the 911 call, correct? Coach, I heard something. I heard that recording. I listened and read a lot on the website. Yep. Giovanni, yes, we advise field units of any prior knowledge of a resident, such as mental health or other history. Yeah, they do that. They do absolutely do that, and for good reason. But again, that information can't be used to harm the citizen. Free Country, this is the problem these days. When you call the cops on someone, you're putting their lives at risk. Yes. Oh my goodness. Great comment, Free Country. That is absolutely correct, and that is a sad commentary. Coach says, I thought so, Free Country, there's so much, it's hard to recall it all. Yeah. All right, so Jerry Khan, I don't know if I said hello, welcome to you down south. If it's a wellness check, they always send a peace officer that's trained for a mental wellness check. And that is what has to happen more of. These departments have got to get these mental health professionals in them to respond to some of these calls, and especially when they're aware of certain people. It is so much. It's just so sad. It is. It's a lot. But it's worth it. We're talking about somebody's life here. We're going to do what we need to do to figure this out. Donald says, I believe that was an open 911 call. Yeah, I think so too. They are so passive. The cops spent more time questioning her. They should be looking for the problems. She called in about right. That's what I said. I mean, why was he asking her for ID? She wasn't the suspect. Somebody's talking to Coach. She got hit with a brick the same day she died. No, this was from July 5th. And I don't think that she actually got hit with a brick. I think she was having a mental breakdown. Giovanni is intended for officer safety. And also, yes, in cases like this, if a crisis unit should be dispatched, this entire country misuses it. And that's beyond scary. Yeah. Thank you for that clarification, Coach. Yeah, it's the purpose of them giving background information is honorable. Is just what the individual officers do with the information. Giovanni says if only cops were trained on how to deal with mentally ill people as well as drunk people. I'm sober now, but I used to be drunk, mentally ill person calling the police. It's so easily to de-escalate. Yeah, well, it's not always easy to de-escalate, but they should be trained to do it. Levette, why did they discharge her from the treatment center she was at hours prior? Good question. That's a good question, Levette. As they say, some more heads may roll. Mental health professionals are held to a very high standard with these patients. And if they let her go in a crisis situation, it could be a problem. What's a crisis unit? Who overuses it? Citizens or cops? You are a strong person. God bless your heart, Donald says to Giovanna. Stephanie says, I feel when she mentioned the name of Jesus, it activated his evil spirit. It agitated his spirit. It did something to him. His reaction was ridiculous. My eyes bucked like, oh my, I mean, the overreaction was just palpable. His, I don't know what that was. He just became unhinged, as Coach said. Donald says, I still say if she was mentally ill, I still point the finger at Sean Grayson. It's his fault. Absolutely. The cops are professionals. It's no different than anybody else, a doctor or a lawyer or whomever. You're the professional. You're responsible. Lisa Lee says his partner should have arrested him immediately. Yeah, that guy, he just looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He was scared. He was traumatized. That guy, I don't know. Giovanna, mental crisis unit. The officers weren't using that information as it was intended. Yeah. King says allegedly Sonya was suffering from lupus and kidney disease, and some medication that's given for these diseases can cause hallucinations and psychosis. Lupus and kidney disease, I'm not sure which medications for those particular conditions would have an onset of psychosis or any type of hallucinations, but some medications can do that. Absolutely. We have to look at her medical records to see. We would have to see her medical records to verify that. But I'm sure she was on some kind of antipsychotic medications or something like that. Bare minimum, a Seroquel, anything like that, when you're talking about a paranoid schizophrenia. Stephanie says, has anyone heard from the second cop? I want to hear his take on all of this. They did not release his name. Somebody in the chat gave a name. They said Dawson Farley or something like that. But to my understanding, they were not releasing his name to the public. However, I did hear a report. Don't quote me on this because I don't remember where I heard it, that he was back on the job because they were both put on administrative leave during the ISF, Illinois State Police ISP investigation. But then he did return back to work, but to desk duty. I did hear that report. I need to find it again. All right, Donald, thank you. I have it under control now and I've gotten sober. Alcohol doesn't allow our meds to work. I was in a coma. Yeah. If you're antipsychotic medication and alcohol do not mix. I'm covering a case on something similar right now. They both depress the central nervous system and you can die in your sleep. It's very high risk for overdose, respiratory depression, and things like that. All right, at King, I don't know that I didn't know that that's sad. Yeah. Let's see. Kathy says the second cop was shook up watching that go down. Yeah, I agree. He was just following Grayson's lead. Yeah, I agree. Second cop showed compassion for Sonya in her final moments. I agree. Y'all don't get mad at me. I agree. I really do. Levette says follow him on to prison. Second officer waited 2 minutes plus before rendering aid. Well, you know what? And he did stall, but I think that his hesitation, I think he was scared of Grayson himself. Grayson was acting a fool. Forgive my, I mean, he was acting crazy. I think that guy was actually scared. Like he didn't know what to do. Well, maybe I should get my kit. And he like, no. And he's throwing his hands at him. Don't bother. It's a headshot. She's gone. And the whole thing just looked like the guy just didn't know what to do with himself. I think he fell apart on the scene. I really do. Stephanie, I believe he will be silent till trial. Yep, I'm sure he's the prosecution's key witness. We will hear something from that second officer, and Coach is absolutely correct. It'll likely be in court, but in the court records. We'll have to get it on transcript because the judge will not let it be broadcast or recorded. So there it is. Lisa says the 4 minutes the other cop took to provide medical attention was too long. Yeah, it was. Absolutely. And I'm sure he will get reprimanded and all of that. But does it raise to the level of criminality is the question. That's the issue. Did what the second officer did, was it improper enough to raise to the level of like a criminal charge? And I think that's how we have to decipher that. Okay. Kathy says it was premeditated before he was allowed entry. You could hear his anger from the get. Yeah. So, okay. So we're kind of getting some repeat comments. That was a day like Denzel's training day. Yeah. Yes. Big Sounds, you're still here. Thank you. And besides that, his partner knew something wasn't right with that dude. I agree. That guy, Grayson was acting so crazy that yeah, he I think he was a little scared of him himself. Partner's already turned on him from the statement in Grayson's personnel file. Partner said he didn't fear for his life. Yeah, I'm going to get to that, Tanisha. Not tonight, but I want to look at this call log and I want to listen to some more calls. Kathy says the second cop was probably afraid to do anything after seeing what Grayson did. Grayson kept asking the second officer if they were good several times. Yeah, yeah. FBI will defund that whole department. No, those police unions are extremely powerful. They're not going to do that too quick. They were trying to cover it up. This is what police do, even for a bad cop. You think the second cop was trying to cover it up? I didn't see anything that suggested that. If I did, I would say it, but I didn't see that. Yes, at Coach, Sean Grayson are going to be silent in court. CNN should air the courthouse and courtroom live on national television. They can't, Donald. We looked at the court docket yesterday. The judge said no. The judge said no. In fact, let's do this really quick. I'll show it to you guys. I will show it to you. We already looked at it yesterday, but I will definitely show it to you guys so you can see it. All right, so what we're looking at is the court docket, and we already went through this on yesterday. You guys should be able to see this pretty good. Grayson was he was indicted. The grand jury indicted him on the 17th. He was arrested and arraigned on 5 counts on July 18th. Counts or complaints 1, 2, and 3 are first-degree murder, and count 4, complaint 4, aggravated battery with a firearm, and count 5, official misconduct. So those are the charges, and then they give a description of the arraignment hearing. And if you look down, let's see, I don't want to read the whole thing yet all over again, because basically they're saying who's present from the prosecutors to the defense, who's there representing Massey. It does indicate that the defendant was furnished with a copy of the indictment and that advised of the nature of the charges and the maximum penalties, and a plea of not guilty was entered. So he did plead not guilty. Pre-trial discovery, you can see that right there. The pretrial discovery enter was ordered. Arguments were heard on the people's verified petition to deny pretrial release. And they enter some evidence from the prosecution. Then, where's my mouse? Down here, you can see where it says, People's verified petition to deny pretrial release is granted. So the judge remanded him over to denied him a bond. Cause set for trial on August the 26th, 2024. You guys see that? At 9 a.m. That's the trial date. Defendant advised of a trial. Cause continued. Defendant remanded to the custody of the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department while awaiting trial. So they did the arraignment. They gave him his charges. He pled not guilty. They denied pretrial release based on the arguments of the prosecution. And then again, we have it stated here, as I reported in a previous video this week, the trial date is August the 26th. 2024 at 9 a.m. in courtroom 7C. This is in the Sangamon County Circuit Court. He signed the pretrial detention order, meaning he's remanded to custody. He did not let him out of jail. And if you go down here, there was a request for media coverage filed. Extended media coverage denied for trial proceeding and signed by Judge Cadigan. You guys see that? It was denied. No media coverage. Someone, I don't know if it was the same media outlet or someone else, requested media coverage again on the 24th, because that was from the first denial of media coverage was at the arraignment on July 18th. Someone asked for media coverage again on the 24th of July, and it was again denied and signed by Judge Cadigan. And there's some other motions here. Y'all can go back to the other video and see that. So there will be no media coverage on this trial unless The large news networks pressure this judge through other powers that be and get him to authorize some type of media pool or something like that. But as it stands right now, he's not allowing the trial to be broadcast. All right, be covered by the media. So we've already established that. I wanted you guys to see that since we were talking about it. So it's getting late, so let's move on. I wanted to show you guys this document here because it is a detailed call log from the date of the incident when Sonya was killed. Let me put it in the stream. And I'm just going to scroll through. I'm not going to, because we do have some calls to listen to, and hopefully, this would be the calls from them calling in the actual shooting. So the initial call came in at 12:50 a.m. That is when Sonya called the police suspecting a prowler outside of her house. We know that from previous news reports. So alerts were here at 12:50. 46 alerts were successfully gathered for location to Hoover Street. Y'all see that? That's her home address right there. And then police call type added, prowler, status, investigation priority 2. Y'all see this? Let me highlight it. All right. They said that it's a prowler. The call type is prowler, status, investigation. So this is where they start dispatching officers. So it says here, narrative added, 17 years. Here's noises. This is at 12:51. Believe someone is outside. That's notes from talking to Sonya. And then it says at 12:51:25, she hung up when call taker tried to ask further. So she told them she heard someone outside, but then she hung up on them. So 12:51:30 is, I guess, when the dispatch happened. And then here's another narrative added, open line from 911, only cell just rustling around. I don't know if they're talking to Sonya at that point, but it is now 1:14:25 a.m. And then, it looks like Grayson and the other officer is at the home on the scene, because it says units, yep, here we go. At 101, unit 319 dispatched. And at 102:25, unit 318 dispatched. Here it is, Sean Grayson. Y'all see that? And unit 319, they said the guy's name was Dawson something in the chat. Here's his name right here, Dylan Caldwell. Okay. So they were dispatched about 101, Dylan Caldwell was dispatched right here. Unit 319. Unit 318 is Sean Grayson. He was dispatched at 1:02:25. By 1:11, both of them were on the scene. Here it is right here. And it looked like they wrote Dylan's name twice because they have unit 318 identified as Sean Grayson's. I'm assuming that's the car number. All right, and then when you go up, all of this information here looks like when the officer 2 was out checking out the disturbance. They're on the scene, and this is the vehicle, they given the plate number in terms of the vehicle that's outside her house or in the grass or whatever on that side. I remember that, I don't know if it was grass or driveway or something that vehicle was parked in. And then it goes on. So by 121, they're calling the EMS and the fire department and all of that. So what happened here? Let me make sure I got this in the stream, because I don't see where they called in the shooting at. 111, they were on the scene. 111:44 and 111:47. And then 114, it says open line 911 only, just rustling around. And it has at 117 the plate number. And it looks like the second officer ran the plates on that vehicle outside. Is that what I'm looking at? 117, plate history found. And that's here. Disturbance call. That's the second officer again, Dylan Caldwell. Allegedly, I believe that's who that is. And then 121, unit status action, unit Z685 dispatch, Rick Schlem. That's at 121. So I'm, yeah. All right. 121:15, unit location cleared. 121:19, fire department called. Priority critical. So somewhere between 117 and 121, he shot her. What time did he arrive on the scene? Let's go back. He arrived on the scene. Here it is at 111. They got there at 111. Then if you go back up at 121, they called dispatch. So within 10 minutes, he killed her. The location cleared, 121:19, fire department called. 121:19, EMS called. 121:19, added fire dispatch position. 121:24, female shot in the head. And that's from the second officer, it appears. And then it looks like these are all the other officers arriving. 121:28, 121:29, 121:32. Matthew Hinkle, Margaret Kaler, Rick Schlem. All of these officers are arriving, it looks to me. Wow, okay. So what I'm gonna do now here, narrative added 122:318. This is Dylan again, Dylan Caldwell. It looks as though this is in fact, the second officer. 318, breathing but losing a lot of blood from the head. That's him calling it in. That's at 122:41. Secondary location, I'm not sure. Secondary location clear. Okay, so when we were listening to the call yesterday, they had gotten the call from saying shots fired to dispatch. We heard this yesterday. They had gotten the call saying shots fired from the Massey scene. But then they had a barricaded shooter at another location, and they had to send others over to the other location to deal with the person that was barricaded. So I'm thinking that this is what is being referred to in this log, because this looks like a central dispatch log. I think that this is what the this other information about secondary location is talking about. I don't know, but I'm assuming that that's what it is. And then we can keep going up. Let's see if we can alerts. See, this is all police documentation. So whomever is on the scene, Grant, Harding, and different ones. Narrative added, SG4 notified. So that may be a sergeant. That's at 129. Some other officers on the scene, on location. 131 narrative added, shot heard on radio, shots fired. Headshot wound to female, notated at 132 by the second officer. Okay, so by 137, let's see here. Oh, did I lose my, it won't let me, okay. By 137, caller updated, name change from Massey Sonya to Massey Sonya L. I don't know what that means. Here's her 13817, caller contact address added 2868 Hoover. 138 Massey Sonya, date of birth, sex, female, race added. 140 Massey Sonya, eye color. They're adding her demographic information, it looks like. And then let's see, 148 paramedics, EMTs are being listed here. Now, I'm thinking that this is just the the times that this information was documented, because according to the phone calls, Central Dispatch contacted the hospital for her DOA death time, and they gave them a time at 1:47 a.m. that she was pronounced dead and she was already at the hospital. So 1:48 a.m., it looks like they're just going back in and documenting the names of the medical paramedics and all of that, and EMTs that were on the scene, all of the officers, all of the victims' demographic information. And that's just me looking over it at, just sight unseen. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to upload this to my community tab. And I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through fast because there's no way that we can read all of this. It's 9 pages long. And here's some additional notes. 114, open line, rustling around. 121, female shot in the head. So it looks maybe she was actually shot at 1:21 a.m. 122, she was breathing but losing a lot of blood. And then 131, they're saying they heard the shots on the radio and the shots fired called in. 132, headshot wound to the female. Yeah, so maybe she was shot at 121. My God, She called for help at 12:50. At 1:21, she was shot in the head. So, yeah, I'm going to, because I want to make sure that everyone who wants to have access to this information, that you can get it. I'm going to upload all of these individual pages to the community tab. What are you guys saying here? I'm not sure where we are. Okay, I think we're way past that. Officer safety is their policy, is not the law. He is demonic. Lenny, thank you for joining us. This young woman saw it. Yeah, I think so. Come back in with his med kit. Giovanni, yes, it took Grayson so long to come back in with his med kit. I think they said it was like 3 minutes. He just didn't care. Did Grayson ever come in with a medical kit? I don't remember him ever rendering aid. My recollection is the second officer attempting to render aid, and he hesitated. There's a summary of his statement which gives his account. Yeah, I think that we should have that document, Michelle. So we'll go over it. Should the partner video recording have his identification on it? They didn't identify anybody that was speaking on those calls, if you're referring to the calls that we're listening to. Why go to your personal ID? I live here. Go get the pot. Why? Jerry, I'm not sure what you're saying. Yeah, it's on, all of these documents and audio files is on the Sangamon County Sheriff's website. Then I think they were all scared of Grayson. Even the supervisor asked specific questions only, and all the other officers stayed real quiet when he came out. They were very quiet. Everybody knew it was an unrighteous, it was something wrong on that scene, it appears to me. Those officers were very quiet and trying not to make eye contact with Grayson, if I remember correctly. Some creators have been sharing it on YouTube. Not sure if it's allowed to mention on other channels in the chat. Yeah, it's okay. Listen, nobody has the whatever copyright on these documents. This is public records, and so if someone else is sharing the same information, that's a good thing, because the whole point is to get justice for this victim and her family. Appreciate you all joining tonight. Please remember to hit the likes while you guys are in here. Yes, because family didn't know they were getting their story together. I heard the other officer summary too. Yeah, I haven't came across that document yet, but I'm sure I'll get it in the process. We can't have Clan running around Springfield, unhinged, unruly, lawless Springfield, using saints that live alone as target practice. Yeah, that was a mouthful there, Jerry. Yes, it was pretty telling. Yeah. I tried to join all chats about Sonya Massey. When I first seen the video, it seems like a sick movie. It's still hard to deal with. Yeah. Very hard to watch. Springfield covered what Springfield is hiding. Yeah. Jerry, one more time and you're out. Yeah, he's getting loose, coach. I can't believe he got a trial that quick. It wouldn't happen that fast if he was in Texas. They're trying to rush it through. It will obviously be a judge and not a jury trial. Now that's a good question. I wonder if they're going to, because they wouldn't even have time to get no jury. Maybe that's why he was able to get it so quickly. Thank you for sharing that, because I didn't even think about that. Grayson was the noise she heard. In the yard, maybe. if he was on a mission to avenge his girlfriend, he might have been out there lurking. We're going to see the trial. Springfield got to cover up. Okay. Yeah, Jerry's gone to the left. I thought he was talking sensibly for a minute, but he's not. She talked to the same dispatch operator. I'm not sure. All the cops came after he shot her and radioed shots fired. They never came to help her at all. Yeah. Yeah. Gary Grayson never had his camera on, not even when he was on the porch. No, he didn't turn it on till after he shot her. Thank you for joining us, sir. How can her gunshot wounds be self-inflicted when it's very clear the sheriff clearly shot her and cameras don't lie? Yeah, that was the whole big thing yesterday, was we were trying to figure out how that rumor got started, that the wound was self-inflicted, and they told the family that as well. But apparently it was started by a dispatch officer. Good night, Tanisha, if you're still in here. See you tomorrow. We'll be back live tomorrow night. Good night, Tanisha. Thank you. Yeah, so Dawson Farley was his partner. Google his name. Good night this time for real. Okay, I was just looking at this service detail report, and it looks like this Dillon guy is the one who was dispatched to the scene at the same time Grayson was. So I don't know. I'll Google it though and see. Yeah, that's fine, Coach. Do your thing. That's why you have that wrench. This shows the video. Slowed down and still pictures. Okay. Grayson finally walked out to his vehicle, but when he came back, he said he wasn't gonna waste his medical supplies. Okay, so that's where the whole thing came about. New member, how did I miss that? Yana or Yamida Israel became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Oh my God, how did I miss that? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope they're still in here. Wow. Thank you so much. Okay. So at any rate, well, I'm going to go ahead on and play these last couple calls, and then we're off. What time is it? It's 1:30. Okay, so that document is going to go up on the community tab for everybody to see. And you guys, in terms of things like this, don't feel bad. I know that a lot of channels are covering this story, and it's actually really important because it has to be a situation where everybody is doing their part in everybody's focusing on different things, but it helps for everybody to share this information and things like that, so it's okay. I'll get a chance to come across that other document as soon as, because everything has been released. So right now I'm just going through a few logs. These are all reports that I'm looking at. So that's everything from July the 6th. I think maybe that these are the documents that are most important in terms of making them available for everybody. So I'll definitely put them up so that so you guys can see them. There's no more actual calls to listen to from the night of the incident. So everything else that we have is literal documents. And I can show you guys a couple of these. Let me let you see some of them. So this is what I'm looking at. Reports like this is what I'm looking at. Okay, if you guys get nights again, let me know. And they say, okay, lived in Hoover, 2800 block of Hoover, called her daughter. See, they know this family. The department knows this family. Saw a post on FB and is concerned it was her daughter. I told her I can't release any information, but I would pass along her info. So this is on July 6th at 4:25 a.m. Sonya Massey is dead. I'm sorry, Lives. Okay, so did you ever get the night's alarm? We did. You were a little tied up. I was going to say, sorry I couldn't get it. It's quite all right. I have no idea, of course, what they're talking about there, but it's apparently relevant because they released the document. So this is the types of stuff. I guess they, like I said, it looks like to me they just did a dump. They kept getting the media requests and the police department just dumped everything they had. And these say CAD messages. So, and I'll show this one as well. And let you guys see it so that you can just look through it. It says, I seriously thought that was you yelling that out. You had just got to the end of calling out your shop, and it sounded like your mic was still keyed up, and I heard what sounded like a shot and screaming. Who is this? I was diving for the hit, tone to tone. You were 318. To tone you when 318 keyed up again. 318, I think, is Sean Grayson's number. I stopped talking to get the plate and heard the yelling, so I shut up and listened. Was it 318? Yeah. So I guess some of the other officers are communicating. 318 is, from what we saw in that other document, is Sean Grayson's either car number or officer number or something. Honestly, no one would tell us anything, so neither of us know. We were under the impression it was self-inflicted until just a minute ago. This is at 2:00 in the morning. These are officers talking. 318 is whose radio was keyed yelling. Yeah, when I heard SG4 notified, I knew someone was involved. And then it says, then ISP Zone 4 investigation said they were going, and that's kind of what raised questions with us too. And the other person says, damn. So these are other officers talking on their radios, trying to figure out what happened on Hoover Street, and was it 318? They're asking, was it Grayson? I'm willing to bet he had a reputation of being a hothead. Grayson is what? Grayson finally went. I think that's what they're saying. Okay. Not sure why you're saying here. Okay. That's okay. This shows the videos. Well, okay. This is all the stuff that I saw. You're welcome. Thank you so much. And if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, forgive me. Yamita, maybe. Yamita Israel. Yamita is beautiful. That's a beautiful name. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Lillian, thank you so much for joining us. I think the trial should be made public. It should. It absolutely should. And I hope they talk the judge into it So sorry, Matthews. They're my childhood friends and they're good people. Oh wow. Justice for the Masseys. They should never ever have to work again sending favor. So very sorry. And yeah, thank you so much for that. Lily and Madison, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us tonight. My condolences to you as well if you know her and the family. I'm certain that you all are still grieving. King says Sonya had a Ring camera on her door. Hope it was activated. That may have, yeah, because that may have been where we got the footage from. Or no, maybe it was the officer's body cam when they were waiting on her to open up the door. Caldwell is a dispatcher. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yamita, I pronounced it correctly, I think, is what she's saying. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, she says Lillian says she knows the family. You're correct. Okay, that's it, guys. Y'all meet me back here tomorrow night, and we will keep going. We got a lot of documents to look at, lots of them. And so we're starting to kind of make sense of what happened on the scene and how everything transpired and unfolded in this tragedy. This is a tragedy. This is a tragedy. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care about her outbursts and agitations and all of that stuff. When you have someone who is suffering with mental illness, these are the things that happen. People have to, the society needs to, we have to accommodate them. It's no different than any other disability. We put in wheelchair ramps for people who can't walk, and we have to accommodate our mentally ill citizens as well. It's just as simple as that. No one deserves to lose their life when they're calling for help, whether it's a legitimate call or not. And the department being familiar with this woman and her family is all the more egregious. She absolutely should not have been harmed. Stephanie says this cop has severe mental health issues himself. As I see things, absolutely. I have a master's degree and 17 years experience as a counselor. I totally agree with that, Stephanie. I think he was just as unstable as she was. Thank you for your commentary. Thank you, King and everybody. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. And mental health matters. That's right, Yamita. Mental health matters. We have to learn how to care about people. I mean, this culture is just getting ridiculous. We just don't have any value for life anymore, and it's not right. It's not normal. So everybody get some sleep. I will be back on tomorrow night, and we will continue taking a deeper look at this case and seeing what other documents we have available. I'll get that other information up on the community tab tomorrow. You guys stay close and keep an eye out on the community tab on the channel so that you'll see when I post it, and then so that you have access to it all the time. What happened, because we don't know when they're going to take it down from the police department's websites and all of that stuff. The information is readily available right now, but at least we'll have it. Lillian says, thank God Teresa Haley informed Eastside Therapy. At Southeast, we never had that opportunity. Yeah, and again, justice for Sonya Massey. I appreciate all of you guys coming and hanging out this late and offering your thoughts, advancing our conversation, and helping us figure out, everything. It takes all of us to kind of work through all of this stuff. So I really, 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 really appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one. Take care. I didn't have my outro ready. All right, guys. Good night. Take care. Enjoy more of our videos on the Community Advocate Network channel, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to advertise your service, special announcement, or event, you may contact us at the Community Advocate Network at gmail.com. For community resources or services, visit our website at www.cammichigan.com.